a beautiful day it is to be a fan of Texan basketball. Hello, everybody. Mike Young here with the head coach of the Texans, Ronnie Hearne. We are live at First Financial Bank on the Loop in Stephenville. This is the Ronnie Hearne Show. And what a week. And let me cap this off here. We'll go all the way back here to Wednesday with the upset of WT, the blowout of Eastern New Mexico on Saturday. And it really has looked like the Texans have turned the corner as far as getting used to not having Morgan Ashmore in the lineup. But more important than that, the Texans have officially clinched the number 2 seed in the Lone Star Conference. And I think you ought to bang your hands together for that. That's big stuff. Lots to talk about, Coach.
Yes, there is, Mike. We can talk about Eastern New Mexico. We can talk about the conference tournament. We can talk about the regional rankings. A lot of things to talk about.
Well, one of the things that I saw last night was TWU losing to Commerce 69-62, and that did lock the number 2 seed in for you. So now not only do you have the number 2 seed, but you got to play the team that gave you the number 2 seed.
That's right, and we kept up with that game last night. I think Coach Wilson watched most of it online. I kept up with it a little bit on live stats and then kind of forgot about it. And picked up my phone. Coach Wilson texted me and said Commerce had won, which was a really big surprise. But, Commerce didn't have to play anybody the night before. So Texas Women's didn't have that edge that they've had most of the time where their opponent had to play a game the night before. So Commerce actually had a little rest and time to prepare for Texas Women's. But it was a big upset.
That kind of goes into the thinking of what comes around goes around. Just bit TWU.
It did, and we were thinking all along that we were going to have to go to Commerce and win that game Saturday to actually get the number 2 seed. But it's still a big game for us because it matters a lot in the regional rankings.
Absolutely. Now, the Texans have qualified for the postseason 12 times over the last 19 years. Not bad at all. But you haven't missed once. What's your secret?
Good players, good coaches. I don't know. It used to be a lot tougher to get in the conference tournament because we were in 2 divisions. The North and the South had all those Oklahoma teams, and you actually had to get in the top 4. But it was a lot tougher when I first came to Tarleton. And now, you just got to get in the top 8 out of 9 teams. So it's a little bit easier to get in the conference tournament now. But I think we're pretty pleased with where we are right now and the way we've been playing lately. And I just think we're playing with a lot more energy. We're running the floor better, we're playing better defense, and a little tweak in the starting lineup I think has helped. Our bench has really played well lately, and that's important. Ravens, of course, everybody knows what Ravens done lately, coming in off the bench and playing so well. Carly, I think, has picked up her game. She's playing better. And then Pock and Tori, our 2 freshmen, are giving us some good minutes.
That tweak in the starting lineup seemed to do wonders for you. That was everything.
I think so. And, Megan Odell is in the starting lineup now. She's a bigger guard. She's done a good job feeding the post. And she's done a good job scoring and rebounding and playing defense. And then Ravens done a super job, and Carly coming in off the bench.
Now, there's the big key word right there is defense, because we weren't sure really just how well Megan Odell could play defense. Now, Carly, we know she's not bad at it, etc. But it seems like the defense has really stepped it up since the lineup change.
I think it has, and we really stressed that in our workouts, and we're a lot more aggressive defensively now. We're actually pressing after made free throws and guarding the on-ball screens. That's what everybody runs, is some kind of offense where there's a lot of on-ball screens. We've been trapping those some, and getting over the top of them and really showing out and helping better defensively. So I think that's kind of given our team a little bit of a spark.
Now, we talked at length about WT and the big win last week, so let's dwell a little bit on Eastern New Mexico and what happened out there Saturday. And they gave us trouble here, but they were pretty much toast in Portales. What happened there?
I don't know. I don't know if they checked it in and decided they're just kind of going to go out and recruit and get ready for next year, what the deal is there. But they didn't have near the intensity that they had back when we played them the first time at Tarleton. And we played a really good game. Our top 3 post players shot 17 for 19 from the field. They were running a zone, and they were putting 2 girls on Kiera, and so the other 4 players were only guarded by 3 players. And early in that game, we missed several 3-point shots. I know we missed our first 3.
We made a lot too.
And then we started clicking and hitting those 3-pointers. I think we ended up 11 for 20, so that's over 50% from the 3-point line, so that's really good. And, Kiera wasn't worried about getting her 30 points. I think she had 39 against them the first time, but she is 6 for 6 from the field, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 12 rebounds and 4 steals. So, and this time she only had to play 25 minutes. So I'm sure the first time we played them, she played 38, 39 minutes. Shanae had a good game, 7 for 8 from the field. Carly Moore was 4 for 5 from the field, and had 3 assists. And Megan Odell was, I think she had 10 points. Matter of fact, we had 6 starters or 6 players in double figures, so that was good to see. I thought Kathy Thomas had one of her best games.
She did.
She was one shy of a double-double, had double figures in points and 10 points and had 9 assists. And I thought she really did a good job of running the point guard position. Raven was 4 for 4 from the 3-point line and really played a good 4 game, good defense. And then, like I said, Tori and Ipaku came in and gave us some really good minutes off the bench, and then we were able to play everybody, which was nice. It's been a long time since we've been able to play everybody. Probably the game at Kingsville, which was a long time ago. So it was a good night. And every game that we've ever played in Portales, except that game, has been a close game. We won most of them. I think we'd won like 8 out of 9 at Portales or whatever it is. But every one of them has been a close game.
You mentioned Kathy Thomas with her 9 assists. She wasn't the only one. You had 27 assists as a team. That's a very high number.
It is. Megan and Shanae had 2. Brianna had 5. Brianna had a really good game. She had 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. That's a pretty nice game.
The only thing I kind of wonder about, I saw where Kiara led with rebounding with 12, and Brianna, she had 8 rebounds. That's terrific too. Shanae only had 1 though. Any diagnosis on that?
I don't know. It would be nice if Shanae gets 7 or 8 rebounds every game. So maybe we need a little pep talk there. When you shoot that well, there's not as many opportunities for offensive rebounds.
That's true.
And I guess Kiara and Brianna would get most of the defensive rebounds. They were running a lot of 4-out motion, and so Shanae was outside guarding one of the perimeter players most of the time, so that could be another reason.
That's true. Eastern New Mexico played very physical the first time we saw them, and they were a physical team. When a team gets down and they think that, well, this is just about it, we're just playing out the string, does that physicality kind of go away?
It may. It seemed like they didn't have the physicality, they didn't have the intensity they had that first game. They started out really well. I think they were up at the top 2 or 3 teams in the conference after 5 or 6 games. And then they kind of went into a tailspin. I think they've lost 8 or 9 conference games in a row now. Mm-hmm. And their last 2 games are going to be against us and WT. So I really think, and it's really sad to see, I think they kind of checked it in, and they're just kind of getting ready for next year.
This is the Ronnie Hearne Show. It's coming to you live from First Financial Bank on the Loop in Stephenville. Papa John's Pizza's in the house. Come on by, have lunch on us. We continue after this. And welcome back to the Ronnie Hearne Show here on KSTV, the Mighty 93. Yeah, right, Justin Mosby said, yeah, you got through it. We're live at First Financial Bank on the Loop in Stephenville. I'm Mike Young, Ronnie Hearne, right beside me here, the head coach of the Texans. And it's something I noticed on the way up to Eastern New Mexico, and I haven't really seen it like this to this degree over the last couple of years here. The team was so very loose, extremely loose, laughing, having lots of fun. That's a great sign going into the postseason.
It really is. That's what you want your team to be. You want them to be loose. And, you know, those teams we had back a couple of years ago with Shelby and Lisa and Morgan and those girls, you know, that was a pretty loose team. And so that's the way we want our team to be. And, you know, I thought they really got focused for that game. Our practices, we kind of cut down on our practices. We're not practicing quite as long, but we're trying to really be intense. And I know this morning practice, we practiced at 7:30 this morning. You know, our leaders like Kiera and Shanae and Bree and those girls, you know, really getting their teammates going. And there's a lot of verbalization in practice and encouraging each other and just going at a real high level.
I was going to say, for all the fun that we saw on the bus, every one of them came out with their game faces on after that. It was just a complete change.
It is. And that's good to see because, you know, we hadn't had a game like that in a long time. And it's good to have a game like that. And you really don't expect that on the road, especially at Portales. And so it was good to kind of, you know, the last 7 or 8, 10 minutes of that game, kind of step back and relax a little bit.
Yeah, that one goes in the file of laugher. By the way, I saw Raven McGrath's parents at the game, and they told me something that just knocked me off my feet. When she played at Grandview High, she played post? Are you kidding me?
I wasn't aware of that. They must have really had a short team.
The first thing I thought was, Kiera Wright played there. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, because she's only 5'5", 5'6".
I know it.
But you can tell, you know, she's real physical. She's really strong. When she goes to the basket, she really knows how to use her body and go up strong. And so I wasn't aware that she played post in high school.
I guess if you have to have an emergency, now you know where to go.
That's right.
Speaking of Kiera Wright, she notched her 55th double-double, and according to our crack statistician Nathan Burrell, she's 5 behind Jennifer Washington for the all-time lead of 60. So there you go, another reason to go deep in the playoffs.
That's right. And you know, she was also Offensive Player of the Week in the Lone Star Conference.
I was going to mention that.
You know, I think it's the 15th time she's been a Player of the Week.
You're right.
That may be a record in itself right there. We might want to look at Lone Star Conference records on how many times a player has been Player of the Week. So, and she's still got a chance, you know, to get that maybe a couple more times.
Well, 15 times in your career, that I think is going to be awfully hard to beat, and it makes me think, and I'll ask you, is she the Lone Star Conference Player of the Year?
Oh, definitely, without a doubt. You know, she was last year, and you know, she's had a great season this year so far, and you know, there's not another player in the conference I want on my team if I had to pick one player. And you know, there's some other really good players in our conference. Not to take anything away from them, but I think she's head and shoulders above anybody else.
I'm with you on that boat. The Texans, thanks to their 2 wins last week, now jumped to number 3 in the regional rankings. That's not a bad place to be at all.
That's not a bad place, and you know, I guess we knocked WT down to 2. They were number 3 in the nation when we played them, and number 1 in the region. They dropped down to number 6 in the nation, and they dropped down to number 2 in the region. But Mesa's 1, WT 2, we're 3. Colorado State, Pueblo's 4, A&M International's 5, Texas Women's is 6, but they're, you know, after their loss last night, you know, they may drop. St. Mary's is 7, Midwestern's 8. Regis out of Colorado is 9, and Fort Lewis out of Colorado is 10. And I put a little star by the ones that we played and beaten this year. So we've beaten 6 of the top 10 teams, and the ones that we haven't beaten are the ones we haven't played. A couple of Colorado schools and A&M International. So, you know, we need to get in the regional tournament. We need to be ranked as high as possible, and I think, you know, our chances of doing really well there are really good this year.
Well, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, I guess. Let's take a quick look at Commerce, who's fighting for their playoff lives. Looks like they've got a good shot to make it finally, though. But what's been the good, the bad, and the ugly so far for them?
Well, the good is their offensive rebounding. When we played them here the first time, they had 23 offensive rebounds. And and I know they hurt TW last night on the offensive boards, and they just put it up, go get it, miss it, go get it again, and they're just relentless on the offensive boards, and they got a lot of athletes and some big post players, and so I'd say that's probably their number one strength. And then they're a team that plays hard, that never goes away, and they're really quick. They really get down the floor quick. So it's going to be a test for our team on Saturday.
Well, we talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the show here, but Commerce did beat TWU last night, 69-62. Where was it that they beat them? Was it on the boards? I mean, we know that Commerce was a fresher team, but was it on the boards? Was it outside shooting? Where was it?
Well, I just kind of kept up with the live stats, and Coach Wilson watched the game. So I know they played some zone against TWU, and I know against us the first time they played man the whole time, but they played some zone against TWU, so they kind of mixed up their defense a little bit. And then TWU, which is normally a man-to-man team, played some zone, and Commerce hit a couple threes on them. So their strength is definitely inside. Getting into their post and getting those putbacks, those second chances. But you'd have to ask Coach Wilson that question exactly. What was the difference last night? But they were playing to get in the conference tournament, and they did that last night with that win. They're in the conference tournament, and the seeding, with the 6, 7, and 8 team won't be determined until after Saturday night. So there's some really interesting games on Saturday.
That's very true. The Lone Star Conference standings, as they are right this moment, West Texas A&M at 14-1. Then there's the Texans at 10-5, and they've got the number 2 seed locked up. TWU, they fall into number 3 with the 10-6. Then you have the real 2 teams that, in my opinion, that are questionable. I don't know which way this is going to go. But Midwestern State is 8-7, and Angelo State's 7-8. They're going to wind up playing each other in the first round of the tournament, and that's going to be a iffy call right there. And then the teams we don't know about is Cameron, who's 5-10, Kingsville 5-10, and Commerce, who's 5-10. And we could wind up playing any of those 3 teams in the first round. Eastern New Mexico, they've got big monumental troubles. They play WT this week, and they're at 4-11. But really, you can just look at the top 5 seeds and say, okay, these 5 are locked in. Right? 6, 7, and 8, we don't know where they're going.
No, and there's some interesting games there. Angelo's got to go to Kingsville, so that's going to be a tough game for Angelo. Midwestern goes to Cameron, so that's going to be a really tough game for Midwestern.
It is.
And then WT goes to Eastern New Mexico, and of course we go to Commerce. So it's going to be interesting to see how all that pans out. So we could, first round of the conference tournament, we could play Commerce or Kingsville or Cameron.
Looking at the Angelo State Kingsville game, and that's such a tough nut to crack right there. On paper, you think it's Angelo, but Kingsville's kind of picked up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of think it's going to be Kingsville. They just came off a win against Midwestern. Last Saturday it was 77-83, and Kingsville won that game. And then Cameron's playing well. They won at Angelo 63-59.
Now that's another weird game, Midwestern and Cameron.
It is, and that's a big rival. And I think the game at Midwestern was really close. So, I'm picking Cameron to win that one.
Wow.
And then, of course, we got WT at Eastern New Mexico. And I think we know who's going to win that game.
I think we know that because Eastern New Mexico lost 10 in a row. And you're right. It looks like they've mailed it in. We're live at First Financial Bank. It's the Ronnie Hearne Show, talking everything Texas A&M basketball. Papa John's Pizza still in the house. Come on by, have some lunch. We continue after this. Welcome back to the Ronnie Hearne Show here at the First Financial Bank lobby on the loop in Stephenville. I'm Mike Young, and Coach is right with me here. And we talked about this just a moment ago during the break here. Texans right now looks like they're going to play their first round game at Allen. We'll jump ahead of that. At noon Wednesday. That looks like that's going to be a lock. We just don't know who it's going to be yet. This is a weird day, starting time, midweek time, but then again, this is March, so I don't think this is going to affect the girls at all.
It's not going to matter. We work out at 7:30 on Tuesday, Thursdays, and we work out about 7:45 or 8 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So they'll be looking forward to a later time there, which 12 o'clock would be great.
Can that cause havoc in routines, though?
No, I don't think so. Your team's got to be able to adjust. Of course, we played, a lot of different times this year. We played at 2 o'clock, and we played at 4 o'clock, and 5:30, and 6 and 7. It's hard to tell sometimes exactly. We were supposed to play at 5 o'clock this Saturday, now it's going to be at 5:30.
Yep.
I think originally it was set for 2 o'clock back early in the season, so the time's not going to matter. And you play at noon, and you're going to have a little more recovery time for your next game.
Why do they do that? Why do they do that out there? Any ideas?
Well, they're going to play, women's game at noon and men's game at 2:30, and then have the next session at 6 and 8:30. And they're
I was talking about Commerce.
Oh, Commerce. They're hosting the regional boys basketball tournament. I think Region 2, Class 3.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So they need a little more time, I guess, to get their gym ready for the Tarleton Commerce game.
Okay,
so that's why they're doing that.
That makes sense. Okay. Well, once again, the game time at Commerce, 5:30, and we'll have the pregame show at 5:15 here on KSTV. And once again, 12 noon on Wednesday, and the airtime on KSTV next week from Allen on Wednesday, 11:45, as the second season begins, and that is new blood all the way.
And everybody that's here and everybody that's listening, I'm sure you're going to remind them later, but the coach's show next week will be Monday.
That's right.
At 12 noon.
That's right. That's right. We'll mention that one more time before we get out of here, too.
Yeah.
It is the Ronnie Hearne Show. We'll come back and wrap it up after this. And welcome back to the Ronnie Hearne Show. Time to give some things away.
All right. First winner today is Dale Johnson.
Dale Johnson.
You're a winner.
Go grab one of those cards.
Yeah. All right. The second winner is Tommy Matthews.
And it's good to see Tommy around here again.
Yeah, it looks like Dale got a t-shirt. I bet he doesn't have any Tarleton t-shirts.
And Tommy's going to win a bag of popcorn.
All right, Tommy. All right. Got a cap, I think.
Yeah.
All right. And then our third winner is another plowboy, Hayden Frederick. Plowboys always win something.
Plowboys get the loudest.
They do.
I mean, I'm sitting over there doing the game here, and I can hear him yelling and screaming over in my crowd mic and stuff, and I'm going, this is great. I love it.
Hayden got a t-shirt.
Very, very good. All right, well, let's talk about the keys really quick to Commerce now. What's it going to take?
I think transition defense, got to limit it to one shot, got to do a good job blocking out, not letting them, get a bunch of putbacks on us. And then offensively, we just got to be prepared for whatever they throw at us. They may press, they may run full court man-to-man, half-court zone with trap. So we just got to be prepared for whatever they put out there. And I think we just need to go down there and be prepared to play and realize that, it's a big game for the Texans.
All right, well, the game, again, has been moved to 5:30 in the afternoon. And then that'll be followed by the men's game coming up at 7:30 here on KSTV. The pregame show starts at 5:15, so be sure and tune in for that. And once again, when we go to Allen, the first game will be 12 noon on Wednesday, 11:45 the pregame show. Who knows who we'll be playing, but just to be safe, we're playing. That's always a good sign.
And the next coach's show will be Monday at noon.
You're on cue.
Financial.
You're on cue. Ronnie Hearne Show next Monday here from First Financial Bank. Once again, that's next Monday, because we'll be in Allen on Thursday.
That's right.
Yeah, so we can't do two things at once. We can't make all those trips and things.
Right.
Yeah, so we'll be here on Monday. And also, too, just to mention as well, the Lon Reisman Show will be moved to Tuesday at Bruno Motors. So that's Lon Reisman Tuesday, following your show here on Monday.
Right.
Coach, let's go get another W.
All right. Thank you.
This has been the Ronnie Hearne Show, live from First Financial Bank in Stephenville. Once again, we will see you on Saturday, 5:15, the airtime here on KSTV. Join us then.